morning, everyone. Sorry about the noise in the background. As soon as I went live, here come Mark back from the flea market with his mom. I knew I should have waited like 10 or 15 minutes, but oh well. Be okay. Let's see who's in here. Let me get on live chat. Shine On, Lisa54, Beach Bum, Mandy Hall. Breaking the silence. Just wanted to stop and say hey. Hey, girl. Jean, good to see you. Cheryl Lynn, Soccer Mom of One. Shine On. I was trying to end my stream yesterday on my Chromebook, and the end broadcast button is right up here by the chat on StreamYards. And my Chromebook went crazy, and it popped up like time out, block on your name. And I was trying to get out of it, but it ended up timing you out. So that was a total accident. That's why I made that post. But I figured you knew it was an accident. So I'm broadcasting live from my porch, my back porch again. I cannot find a quiet room. I can't get any privacy right now. But it's okay. If y'all don't mind me streaming on the porch, I don't care. So we're going to talk about Carole Baskin, Naya Rivera, talk about her for a second, and Vanessa Guillen. Well, we're going to talk about Cecily Argular, or however you say her name. First, let me look at my chat. Oh, also, I wanted to tell y'all that I am planning a channel member stream, and it's going to be at night, and we're going to do 80s trivia. It's going to be 80s themed. Going to have fun. Maybe I'm going to try to be on camera, get myself put together. I don't know if I have any clothes that look 80s style, but I can fix something up maybe. Stream wherever you want. Well, I've got privacy out here, and it's about the only place I've got to stream right now. But it's all good. Shout on, sure. Your way of saying like I talk too much. No, it was an accident. Hey, Chuck. Southern Mom, be safe driving. But before we get on those topics, there's something else I wanted to tell y'all about. I didn't have room to put everything in the title. They found a decapitated, hacked body inside of a luxury condo in New York. I just saw it this morning. It says decapitated, hacked body found inside luxury condo with chainsaw sitting by victim's torso. Says this is a developing story and will be updated with when additional information becomes available. People are sick. Anyone that can cut up a human body has got some real sick things going on in their brain. They're sickos. A New York man was found dead inside a luxury Manhattan condo on Tuesday afternoon, according to the New York Post. Sources reportedly said the victim, only identified as a 34-year-old male, was found with his legs, knees, head, and other body parts cut off inside a condo at 265 East Houston Street. Police questioned a woman found crying and hysterical at the scene, but her relationship to the victim is unclear. She was really upset, crying, shaking. Neighbor Danny Foss told the Post. She was just sitting there, but you could tell her legs were shaking. She was nervous. She was crying wiping her eyes. The New York Times reported that several plastic bags were found inside the apartment, and an electric chainsaw was sitting by the victim's torso. It was still plugged into an outlet when authorities arrived at the grisly scene. Detectives are working to figure out if police may have interrupted a murderer dismembering the victim when they arrived. No one has yet been named as a suspect. Authorities theorize the suspect may have fled after spotting the police. So far, the death has not been officially labeled a homicide. The medical examiner is currently working to figure out the cause of death. Well, you know it was a homicide. Why would they be dismembering a body? I know, they got to wait, though. Find out the cause of death. But I'm just wondering if this woman that they found at the scene, I wonder if she was actually the one dismembering the body. It's a pretty good possibility that she was. I'm going to try to keep up with this story. You know, I've told y'all before, my brother had a friend, and he used to come and spend the night with us when we were growing up, and he ended up pushing his girlfriend off a porch. It broke her neck, and he cut her body up and tried to burn it. He got life in prison. He cut her head off and everything. Good question, Jean. How did they turn up at the scene? My theory is someone heard that chainsaw. I'm not sure how loud an electric chainsaw is. I mean, Mark has a chainsaw. It's pretty loud, but it's like, gas and oil powered. Wait, I'm confused. How is this not a homicide? Well, they're not calling it a homicide right now because I guess they got to figure out how the victim died. I mean, it's pretty clear that if someone's dismembering a body, they died by means of homicide. But I guess they just got to make sure. Kind of confused me too. That's the only thing I can figure out. This article is kind of dumb a little bit. Some of the stuff it says, it's like detectives are working out if police may have interrupted a murderer dismembering the victim when they arrived. Of course, that's what they did. Of course, that's what they interrupted. Hey, never lose hope. Let me look at the chat a minute. Dismemberment. So yesterday is 2020. Tigers, murders, tigers. Yeah. Hey, Carolina girl. We're going to talk about that crazy Carole Baskin this morning. She is such an idiot, y'all. She has once again been tricked. She must really be a natural blonde. Hey, Brooks Channel. I say that joking around because I got blonde hair. I was born a natural blonde. It's a little bit darker now, but I lighten it. But let me get the article pulled up here because I can't remember. She shouted out some pedophiles. She does those cameo videos where people pay her to do like little video messages, for their loved ones' birthdays or just whatever. She's already been tricked once before in one of those cameos. Someone tricked her into saying something about Dawn's disappearance or something, and now she was tricked into shouting out a pedophile. I think it's a pedophile from Australia too. So I think the guy's last name is Savile. Now a comedian, I think, tricked her. Let's see. An Australian comedian on TikTok has gotten celebrities to give shout outs to a convicted sexual predator and a murderer on a personalized video message site, Cameo. Tom Armstrong got Carole Baskin to wish Rolf Harris, a convicted sexual offender, a happy birthday, and also give a shout out to his best friend, Jimmy Savile. Maybe it's Savile, who was accused of sexual assault by hundreds of women. Baskin said in the video that all of Harris' kids wanted to get together and tell you that you have really touched them. Personally, I would have found that odd that they wanted that said that you have touched them. It didn't say touch their lives in so many ways. It says touch them. She is the world's biggest idiot. Hope you're listening, Carole. You're an idiot. When are you going to learn to research before you give shout outs? You was on the Netflix documentary Tiger, Murder, and Mayhem. Your husband disappeared off the face of this earth. Everybody thinks you fed him to the tigers. So, I mean, you would think you would be more aware and smarter to look up these people's names and see if there's anything crazy tied to their names. I mean, your husband is an attorney. Dumbass. Okay. Baskin told the Insider she is amazed at the lengths and expense people will go to in order to trash my reputation. Lady, you trashed your own reputation. You talk about Don like he was just some crazy, eccentric man that never did anything right, was losing his mind, and you was the savior. Saved the sanctuary, saved Dawn from making bad investments. She's a complete idiot. Hey, TC. Hey, Soul Diversity. Rolf Harris and Jimmy Seville. Yeah, Mandy Howe. She's a complete idiot. She knows that people don't like her and that people's tricked her. I mean, hell, these YouTubers tricked her into thinking she was going on the Jimmy Fallon show. And she bought it. Hook, line, and sinker. Then she did a cameo video for someone. They tricked her into saying something about Dawn's disappearance. I can't exactly remember what it was. It's been a while back. And now this. She shout out some pedophiles. She talks about them trying to ruin her reputation. She's ruining it. She's a dumbass. Okay. Let's see what else it says. On Baskin's Cameo page, where she introduces herself as Joe Exotic's intended murder victim, allows fans to submit requests for what they'd like her to say in a video in exchange for money. Now, of course, she's trying to make money. She always is. Hey, all you cool cats and kittens. It's Carole freaking Baskin at Big Cat Rescue. Baskin said in the cameo video. Hi, Rolf Harris. All your kids wanted to get together and tell you that you have really touched them and that they love all that you have done for them. She also mentioned his friend Jimmy Seville and how she can't wait to hear the stories about him. Harris is currently serving a prison sentence of 5 years and 9 months for 12 counts of indecent assault on 4 teenage girls. Sicko. Seville died in 2011, but was accused after his death of sexual assault by hundreds of women during his decades-long career. This is what Carole says. She's amazed at the lengths and expense people will go in order to trash my reputation. Of course, I have never heard of Rolf Harris or Jimmy Seville and would not have done the cameo had I known, she said. The producers of Tiger King had monetary incentives to make their production as salacious as possible. And the comedian who posted this prank said he hoped it would break the internet, which would bring attention to him. It's sad that people like them prey on people like me who are trying to protect animals from abuse and have taken to cameo to make people's lives a little better as we all sit caged now. Really, Carole? You're doing cameo to make people's lives better? It's more like to make some coins, sweetheart. She is such an idiot. She also pointed to the signature in her email, a quote by Franklin D. Roosevelt that reads, I ask you to judge me by the enemies I've made. I think... Okay. Y'all have fun. Skylar's going out Mark's mom's. Okay. I think that tells you all you need to know about the kind of people who abuse me in their efforts to make others hate me. Really? You mean like the way you abuse Dawn daily in your stupid video diary you put up? She gets me mad. I can't even get my words out. I just listened to another one of your stupid videos, Carole, talking about Dawn wanting to cut a hole in a new enclosure that y'all had just put up for one of the big cats. It is pretty obvious that you are trying to make people think that Dawn was losing his mind. You're really just making yourself look bad, sweetheart. Okay. Let me look at my chat here. She gets me. Hey, 7 minutes juice. Ralph Harris. Tommy Kangaroo Down Sport. And the wobble board. I had heard, hey, Sue Soul Sister. I had heard those names before, but, you know, I really didn't know what they had done. But Carole, being the person that she is, and everybody knowing her and everybody disliking her because they think she was responsible for Don Lewis's disappearance, you think she would look into who she's giving these shout outs to, considering she'd done been tricked twice before. Hey, Verbal. Let me just look back up through the chat. Oh, I see you, Soul Sister. I see you. Yeah, I don't look at the chat when I'm reading. Because I usually use my phone to look at the chat because StreamYards only shows top chat. Bye, baby. Have a good time. Tell my dog bye. She rides like a pro in that back seat. Sue, did you ask me another question besides that? Put it back in the chat. Yes, I can see you. It does make me miss people when I'm looking at my phone reading. It really does. I tell you what, it's a lot easier to keep up with the chat when I'm just sitting out here on the porch using my phone to live stream when we do our little members chats. Yeah. How you been doing, Sue? Yeah, see, Mitch, you. Someone tricked Carole again. She was tricked into shouting out two of the biggest pedophiles ever. What was their names, guys? Jimmy Seville and Rolf Harris. I think it's Jimmy. I'm trying to look. Yeah, Jimmy Seville and Rolf Harris. She shouted out pedos. She's such an idiot. I was trying to look, see if there's anything going on with Joe. I hope she has learned a valuable lesson. You know, it's took her 3 times now, that she needs to try to look up the names of the people she's shouting out. I don't know how many cameo videos she does. I wouldn't pay for a shout out. Wait, I might get Carole to shout me out. Nothing mean or trick her, just shout me out. For the hell of it. I would say, shout out, Carole, shout out the Bunny Slayer. She'll be shouting out herself. Thank you, Mandy Hall. I never heard of the other one, but Seville is Nightmare Country. Really? Well, I had heard their names before, but I didn't know really what they'd done. But Carole, she should know better. She was on the Netflix documentary. It's always, everybody thinks she killed Don. She's always going on about him. Think she'd learn by now. Let's look and see what Carole's been saying. 11 hours ago. Listen to this, what she says about Don. This is supposed to happen in February 7th, 1997. First thing Don does, crap, it moved on me. First thing Don does when he gets back in is to try and tear down the great new Bearcat cage we built while he was gone. It was 1,200 square feet with trees, a den. Her video's possessed. It keeps rolling on me. Trees, a den, 2 lockouts, 1 portable so we can take Banjo to shows. Yeah, she exploits animals too. Did you hear that? She took animals to shows for money. And everyone, especially the Bearcats, who have been in tiny cages, just love it. When we wouldn't help him tear it down, then he wanted to cover it and straighten the sides so that the photographers could not get a good view of the animals. The photo tours are what is paying for these wonderful pens. Next, he wanted to size down all the doors so small the Bearcats couldn't use them. We finally got him distracted onto something else. Because, Don's crazy, according to Carole. She's so ignorant. Don keeps getting into the cages with the cats and either leaving the gates open or he will cut a hole in the side of the cage. When we discovered Callie Cougar wandering around, we called everyone together with nets to chase her for hours. Now, why would Don cut holes in the sides of the cages knowing the cats could get out? That don't even make no sense. She's trying to make everybody think he had dementia. That way, she thinks if she convinces people of that, then they'll go along with the story that, like, he wandered off because he had dementia, must have had a horrible accident or something. Yeah, look him up, Burble. He's a real sicko, from what I just read. Poker flush face. I don't think Carole gives a care what people think. Well, she ought to care what the police think about her. The sheriff's down there is investigating her. I just don't get it. I just, and I'm not trying to be a smart aleck. I just don't understand why she does these videos reading her diary. And it's most of them, let me say it this way, quite a few of them are, they're always saying something bad, negative about Don. This is a man that disappeared, that was married to her. She has no clue what happened to him, she says. And she gets on YouTube and puts out videos, trying to make people think he was crazy. She's put out videos saying that he dumpster dived and ate out trash cans. I don't think dumpster diving is too crazy. There's YouTubers that do it. They dumpster dive outside like PetSmart, Bath and Body Works, places like that. It's not something I'm into, but if anyone else does it, I don't care. Really shine on. I'm just seeing your message about Jimmy and Ralph. Got medal awards from the Queen and both moved in high society. Seems like a lot of these pedos we've been hearing about. Friends with the royal family, a few other millionaires. They had Ghislaine Maxwell in court. She wanted to be on house arrest, and they said, like, hell no to that. She got too much money. She could disappear. Even if she's on house arrest with the GPS device on her, she's just got so much money, she could get somebody to figure out how to get that off and flee. Prince Charles got My chat scrolled. Prince Charles got Jimmy Savile to be a mediator in his and Diana's marriage. Really? Weirdos. Let me get back on my phone so I can get to my live chat. I look for Prince Andrew to have some kind of charges or them to do something to him. I'm not quite sure what the FBI can do or charge him with because, he does live in another country and he is Prince Andrew, Queen Elizabeth's son. I bet she is so embarrassed of him. Really. I bet she really is. I mean, she'd never say it publicly, I guess, unless he got charged or something. But he was right into it with Epstein and Maxwell with young girls. Sickos. I heard this morning Nancy Grace say that Ghislaine Maxwell is married. She got married to somebody and nobody knows who her husband is. She doesn't want anybody to know who her husband is. The house that she bought in New Hampshire, his name's not on it. Did you know that, Bieber? Hey, Bieber. Bieber, I never did get that package in the mail, girl. I was going to message you and tell you yesterday. I don't know what's going on with that. Absolutely sickos. Yeah, they are. Real sickos. Oh yeah, I was going to give y'all a little update about Vanessa Guillen. Well, really, the piece of crap that dismembered her body. Now, Vanessa's family is going to be meeting with President Trump. I think they're going to try to get some kind of bill passed. Let me look right here. President Donald Trump said the Army will report what it knows about the disappearance and death of Houston soldier Vanessa Guillen on Monday. The president said he will make some of the information the Army releases to him public. U.S. Army officials announced Friday they will begin an independent review of the command climate at Fort Hood following calls from members of Congress and community activists for a more thorough investigation into the killing of Vanessa at the Texas base. Secretary of the Army Ryan D. McCarthy said he was directing the review and that it will be conducted by an independent panel of congressional representatives selected in collaboration with League of United Latin American Citizens. The panel will examine claims and historical data of discrimination, harassment, and assault. Investigators say Vanessa was bludgeoned to death at Fort Hood by a fellow soldier. She was last seen in April and was listed as missing for 6 weeks before the Army released details. The soldiers suspected in Vanessa's slaying, what's SPC mean? I don't know. Aaron Robinson died by suicide on July 1st as police were trying to take him into custody. They said he beat her so bad that in the face, she couldn't, all of her teeth was busted out. Her face was all bashed in and stuff. I thought he was hitting her in the head, but he was hitting her in the face. Now, let me find this about Cecily real quick. Let me get on Crime Online. They're the one that had that article. Oh, I see an update about Olivia Jensen too. I'll give you guys. Okay. So Cecily Argular, ever how you say her name, has deleted all of her Google accounts from jail. Says Vanessa Guillen, suspect deletes Google accounts in jail, plans to flee country after dismembering beloved Fort Hood soldier. She did exactly how ISIS would do to our soldiers, lawyer Natalie Kawaham or something. The suspect accused of dismembering Fort Hood soldier Vanessa Guillen apparently wants to flee the country, according to a U.S. prosecuting attorney. During a Tuesday hearing at the Waco County Courthouse, U.S. Attorney Mark Frazier detailed the actions 22-year-old Cecily Argular allegedly took after helping her boyfriend, soldier Aaron Robinson, dismember 20-year-old Vanessa. According to the criminal complaint, Robinson, who may have been sexually harassing Vanessa, bludgeoned her to death inside an armory room at Fort Hood in April. He then took her body to an area near the Leon River, where Cecily allegedly helped him hack the soldier's body and buried them in 3 shallow holes. According to Frazier, Cecily deleted her Google account while in jail after her arrest earlier this month in an attempt to get rid of incriminating evidence. She also contacted someone from jail. She called them and asked them to delete her Facebook account, Frazier said. Further, during another jail call, Cecily told someone she wanted to flee the country while using a $5,000 credit card. The judge ultimately ruled that Cecily would remain in jail without bail. Despite the evidence against her, Cecily pleaded not guilty to 3 charges connected to tampering with evidence, namely a human corpse. She faces up to 20 years in prison if convicted. Now, Cecily's husband, Keon Argular, attended the hearing, according to NBC6. Keon claimed that his estranged wife was religious and an outgoing person. It says there was a time when she really wanted to know more about the relationship that I have in God, and she would just really draw in on that, Keon told the outlet. Well, I don't know if she was ever serious about that. Seems like to me she's got the devil in her. The Guillen family attorney, Natalie, I can't say her name, Kawaham, said that she found it bizarre that Keon showed up to the hearing, given his wife was dating another man. Natalie now hopes Keon will divulge information about the suspect that will help in obtaining justice for Vanessa. Where was that I saw about him beating her teeth out? Okay. Hold on, guys. I'm looking for something. Okay. It says Vanessa was last seen alive on April 22nd around 1 p.m. at the Regimental Engineer Squadron Headquarters, 3rd Cavalry Regiment in Fort Hood, Texas. Vanessa left behind her car keys, barracks room key, identification card, and wallet in the arms room where she worked. Someone called Vanessa into work on her day off, but it was not Robinson, according to a criminal complaint. A witness, however, saw Vanessa walk to an adjacent arms room where Robinson was working on April 22nd. She never came out of that room, according to Natalie Kawaham. Blood was left all over the room after Robinson bludgeoned her to death. Robinson hid Vanessa's body in a pelican case, stored it to the side of the armory room, then left the base to buy supplies. He returned that evening and took the case to the Leon River area. Robinson later determined that he couldn't dispose of Vanessa himself and in turn contacted Cecily and asked her for help. Both Robinson and Cecily drove to the Leon River, then allegedly used a machete to hack Vanessa's body apart. I think I'm going to walk in the house. There's all kinds of traffic coming. It says, on April 26th, the suspect returned to the Leon River wearing hairnets and gloves. They used cement to encase Vanessa's body parts and lime rocks to get rid of the evidence. They buried the hairnets and gloves at the crime scene. They then drove home and burned the clothes they were wearing that day. Vanessa's sister Myra was arriving at the base. While she was looking for her sister, they were dismembering her body. Oh, guys, hold on a minute. I'm going to go in. It's too noisy out here. Okay. Hold on. Let me cut the air conditioner off here and... Hey, Bob. Okay. I wanted to cut the air conditioner off in the kitchen so it wouldn't be so loud. How long was he there after killing her? Good question, Jean. Let me see what this says. Okay. After leaving the scene, the suspect allegedly threw the machete, hammer, and Vanessa's cell phone from a car window. Although 2 witnesses saw Robinson leaving the base on April 22nd with the Pelican case, no warrants were taken out until after investigators found the remains. When authorities pursued Robinson earlier this month, he shot himself in the head. He died at the scene. Okay. Now, the family attorney for Vanessa's family says that Vanessa's face had been bludgeoned so badly that officials could barely use dental records since her teeth were smashed during the gruesome attack. Sounds like to me he killed her about the same way Patrick Frazee killed Kelsey. He used a baseball bat, though. But they think that she was beat that bad too. Of course, she ended up dying. That's all it says. So, like, he killed her in that armory room. There had to have been a bloody mess there. How did he clean that mess up in 43 minutes? So I think after he returned back to the base, he brought cleaning supplies with him. But there's no way he could have cleaned all that up in 43 minutes. And who called Vanessa into work? Did he have someone else call Vanessa into work? I mean, you know, she could have just legitimately got called into work, but from what I understand, they don't know who called her into work. That's strange. Well, I guess according to Cecily, they talked to her like he just seemed to snap on her in the armory room. But it's my belief he had been planning on it, maybe. It's terrible. Poor Myra arriving to search for her sister, and they're down by the Leon River hacking her up. Beautiful girl, 20 years old. I think she's 20. But blood splatter would have been everywhere. He had an accomplice, in my opinion. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, when you hit someone with force like that, every time you raise that weapon back up, it's going to, like, spray blood on the walls, like, on the items in the armory room. Now, armory room, I'm assuming, is where they keep all the guns and stuff. Yeah, it is, because I think they had been comparing some serial numbers. Hold on, guys. Let me get my cigarettes I left on the porch. About 2 days ago, they said they may have overlooked it, but she may have been harassed. Yeah, I think she had told her sister or someone that there was like a couple guys sexually harassing her at work. Now, allegedly, Vanessa, when she went to Robinson's armory room that he was in, she told him that she was going to report him for having an affair um, with a fellow soldier's woman, Cecily. And he was like, no, I'm not going to let that happen, and picked up the hammer and just started bashing her head and face in. Sick. Sick monsters. Anyone that can cut up a human body. I don't have a word for them. They're not an animal. There's something else. Monster, I guess. A monster. Takes a real sick individual to be able to do something like that. Yeah, she was called into work that day verbal, but they said that Aaron Robinson didn't call her in. They don't know who called her in. I'd say the Army knows who called her in. They're just not saying. My opinion, they tried to do a little bit of a cover-up here, or a whole lot of a cover-up. That's right, Cece. It would be everywhere, even the smallest amount. He couldn't clean all of it. No, there is no way. They had to know the girl was involved somehow, because they had her phone monitored to find the guy. Well, you know what? They were two dumb criminals, because they buried their hairnets and gloves at the crime scene, which has their DNA in it. Probably some of their hair there. I think he killed her so she wouldn't ruin his military career. Really, he was ruining his own career. He knows you can't have an affair and sexually harass people when you're in the service. Maybe she threatened to report him to try to get him to stop sexually harassing her. Hey, Mary. I don't believe Cecily's involvement was limited. I have a hard time saying her last name, so I just say Cecily. Cement shoes. Was limited to disposing of Vanessa. I feel she was already there with her boyfriend, waiting for her. She could have been. You would have thought that she would have been on some kind of surveillance. But I do think the Army was doing a cover-up. Hey, TC says, just take the staircase murder, the amount of blood that was there, and she was supposed to have fallen. There is no way Kathleen Peterson fell down those stairs and died. There's no way an owl attacked her. No. Her husband did it. Michael Peterson did it. What the hell's wrong with these Peterson men? So I see here on Crime Online, the little girl from Kansas City, Olivia Jensen. It says the police had been to her home several times. Let me see if I can find it. CPS, and the police, they really fail some of these kids, especially CPS. It says, Olivia Jensen, police were called to the Tots home numerous times in the past year before she was found murdered. They were there at least 6 times in 2020, including a call from her own grandparents who were worried for her safety. 3-year-old Olivia was found dead on Friday evening, buried in a shallow grave only 9 blocks away from the Kansas City home where she lived with her father and his girlfriend, Howard Jansen III, and his girlfriend, Jacqueline Kirkpatrick, and they have been arrested for Olivia's murder. It says all the calls to police were all pertaining to welfare checks and child abuse concerns. Olivia's grandparents said that she could have been saved if authorities had taken the calls more seriously, adding that Jansen has an explosive temper and was involved in drugs. You know what? There's a lot of people that's involved in drugs and they don't abuse their children. I mean, it's some kind of abuse doing drugs in front of your kids, but I'm just saying that's no excuse. No excuse. CPS is complete trash. Man, they're not like that in my area. They take calls seriously. If you get reported for, like, let's just say someone accuses you of doing drugs or something, they're coming knocking at your door unannounced and asking you to piss in a cup. They don't give you a chance to go do it at a lab or anything like that. I kid you not. They take stuff very serious around here. Which I'm in a Commonwealth state. Kind of strict. And I'm glad they do take it serious. Hey, if it's a false call, then you got nothing to worry about if you're not doing anything wrong. But always, if you see something, say something. If you think a child is being abused, you see evidence they've been abused, you pick up the phone and you call CPS as many times as you have to. There's a lot of people that abuse CPS. They call on people when they get mad. And cases like that, it takes the CPS workers' time away from the real kids that are being abused. Those false calls to CPS are a bunch of bullcrap. That was like one of the problems, case overload in the AJ Friend case. They had been to that home so many times. Hell, he had been took from the home for 2 years, but the caseworkers were just overloaded. The system failed him bad. And I would say a lot of those cases in that area where AJ Friend lived was false calls in. People get mad and abuse it. That's there to protect children, not to get back at an adult that pissed you off. Takes away from the real freaking cases, the kids that are being abused. Pisses me off. Exactly, Bieber. If I thought a kid was being abused and I called and they didn't do that, I keep calling. Probably take matters into my own hands. I don't even answer the door for cops, so good luck knocking. I don't answer doors for any unannounced knocks. It's part of my PTSD. Yeah, well, around here, they'll show up at your door knocking. They don't call you and warn you. I think that's stupid to call and say, oh, we're coming to your house for a visit. That's stupid. You need to walk up and announce they do. It's used as a tool for revenge far too often. Yes, verbal. Really, that gets under my skin. Some of these adults need to grow the hell up. Oh no! What did it do? Is that something I signed out? No, I did not sign out. Oh, it's talking about my Grammarly thing I got on my Chromebook to correct my spelling. Anyways, I think that's about all the true crime I'm going to discuss this morning. What y'all's plans for today? I'm going to finish my cigarette and talk with y'all a minute, and then I'm going to go. Depends on the accusation. Yeah. Well, it's just totally wrong to use CPS to get back at someone that pissed you off, because it takes, just like I said, it takes away from the kids that are being abused and neglected and need help. Yeah, it's evil and stupid, cement shoes. I totally agree with you. These people has got too much time on their hands. Way too much time. Cheryl, you're going to mow the lawn? CPS shows up if it's a serious accusation. Oh, where you live at Verbal? If someone reports you around here, they're coming. It don't matter what the accusation is. They're coming to check it out. And they show up unannounced. You got dinner plans, Beach Bum? I've got to get some laundry done as usual. Gosh, Mark, he goes through more clothes than anybody I've ever known. He's got more clothes than any woman I know. I'm always doing laundry. So that's just probably what I'm going to do. I may lay out in the sun for a little bit. I like playing in my sprinkler. I lay out, I get real hot, and I turn my sprinkler on, walk through it. Sometimes I just stand in front of it. It's probably what I'm going to do. I'm going to get my housework done first. And I got to run Annabelle some pellets over to the fence to put in her tray. She was getting low. They come here within 24 hours. Yeah, Very Mary, that's the same way. It's the same way they do here. Very Mary, you remember that eyeliner I showed you that one day? I sent you a picture of. I got from Ipsy. That stuff is amazing. I love that eyeliner. It's got a real thin tip. It's liquid. Works good. I thought I'd let you know. I'm guilty too. Yeah. Hey, playing in sprinklers fun. I love it. I love laying out in the sun. I kick back in my lounge chair. Usually find me something on YouTube to listen to. It's been making my phone hot. Like my phone was going crazy yesterday. I brought it in. It was hot. It was about dead. It didn't want to charge at all. I had to turn it off. Yeah, they show up at the schools too. What they do here is they go and talk to the kid first. If there's accusations of abuse at school, they call them out of the classroom into the principal's office. After they talk to the kid, then they go to the house. Now, if the child's not in school, they just show up at their house. But they do go to the school and talk to the kids. I really hope that's the way they do here, Cece. My brother-in-law got CPS called on them. They came with a woman and a man. My chat scrolled. With a woman and a man and made them piss on the spot. Yeah. Yeah, if you get accusations like that, they bring a cup with you and you piss right there on the spot. That's the way it is here in Virginia. Oh, speaking of Virginia, there's 2 escaped prisoners. I don't think they've caught them yet. They escaped from a juvenile facility. They were getting ready to be transferred to prison. One of them actually was a convicted murderer. I don't know if they've caught them yet. They got the guard in a chokehold and escaped. Let's see if there's an update on that for you up here. Convicted murderer at large after choking security guard, escaping juvenile. Click on it. Escaping juvenile detention in Virginia. Let me get on my chat. We'll just play it. See if it'll play.
I'm totally shocked.
Two offenders at Air Juvenile Correctional Center are on the run. 20-year-old Jabbar Taylor of Spotsylvania County, 18-year-old Rashad Williams of Washington, D.C. managed to escape from the facility early this morning. Taylor was convicted of second-degree murder and aggravated malicious assault, and Williams of malicious wounding and robbery. The pair used a cord to choke a security guard, causing them to lose consciousness. They took the guard's keys, escaped through a hole that was cut in the perimeter security fence, and hopped in a car that was waiting for them.
So if they have that type of mentality, what will they do to someone in the street?
This resident, who has to go by her first name, Lisa, lives just minutes from the facility, which is surrounded by neighborhoods.
They escaped yesterday morning.
Have they left the neighborhood? As kids, as people out here, oh my gosh, that is so dangerous.
Carrie Dean, who also lives in the area, is concerned.
I would expect some speedy response from law enforcement.
Virginia State Police troopers are investigating what happened, and a search is underway.
We're all wearing masks. They put a mask on. How do we know who they are? You know, that's why it is extremely and highly dangerous right now.
Yeah. Oh, my bad. They escaped Monday, guys. They escaped Monday. They've not caught them yet. But anyways, I hear my son up in there, so I'm going to get off here. I will see y'all in the morning. Have a blessed day. Stay out of trouble. Be safe, be kind, and peace. Especially if there's known gang activity. Yeah, they probably were in gangs. It's scary because they are violent offenders. They were getting ready to be transferred to prison, and they didn't want that, so they escaped. Anyways, love y'all. Thanks for your support. Have a great day. Peace.